QCC Cure audio check.
Good audio check. You may begin.
All right, welcome to our presentation. The QCC name is the Cure. The QCC leader is myself, Esteban Venegas, advisor Edward Martinez, consultant Eddie Flores. Our safety commitment is we will follow all safety walkways and safety signs. Meet the team. We are PI Predictive Inspection. From left to right, we have Eddie Flores, Santos, Mark, Esteban, Bell, Rachel, Louis, Ruben, and Edward Martinez. So our pre-level assessment, per our score, we show that we are at a low zone C for our pre-level assessment. What we did was we set self-development goals. So hopefully by the end of the QCC, we can see that we reach our goals for our QCC. As an overall team, we show an open pie. Even though we do have some kind of knowledge in the 8-step problem solving, we do want to reach a 3/4 pie. So utilizing our theme selection, our FMDS triggers was safety, production, and cost. We had data collecting, team member inspection details, team member communication, AMA issues, and ADR. For our scoring, our two top ones were data collecting and ADR. Data collecting is currently in a QCC, so we went with ADR improvement. That gave us our QCC theme of ADR booster shot. So for this slide, our activity plan development, we try to utilize this to show each team member to reflect their goal for their QCC by the end of the QCC. I will now hand it over to Bill for step 1, clarifying the problem.
Step 1, clarify the problem. Our background. Our new model vehicle did not hit target ADR of 55.9%. The difficulties PI faced was understanding the struggle areas to prevent a negative impact to ADR. Our ultimate goal. PI will help the plant reach target ADR goals during daily production for improvement on productivity, cost, and quality. Ideal situations. Assembly target was set at 55.9% MPT ADR. Where did this come from? From our new model target sheet, assembly shop ADR 55.9% for MPT. Our current situation is assembly had 0% MPT ADR, resulting in a gap of 55.9%. Step 2, break down the problem. What impacted ADR? Open issues. We had 58 trial vehicles per our ADR activity. What is ADR activity? ADR activity had TM stationed at the end of each production line with an AMA to confirm no open issues were passed to the next process on trial vehicles. We had 58 trial vehicles with 576 open issues, which translated to 103 items. What does that mean? For example, belt moldings accounted for 34 issues, but belt molding is one item. As you can see, assembly had 32 open items, and Vutex was a heavy hitter with 71 open items. So we broke this down to 58 door line items. We broke that down to 36 door install line items. We also had 13 IP items, broke that down to 7 IP install items, along with 4 spec items. We also had 24 mutilations, but we shared those with the door install line and the IP line items. So as you can see, Vutex had 36 door install line items, is a heavy hitter. Continuing to break down the problem, as Vutex, you can see, has 36 door install line items. Our 24 mutilation items are covered in our general route inspection. Our 4 spec items have already been part okayed. So let's not forget our 7 IP install items. We are predicting that the countermeasures that we have in place will impact the 7 IP install line items. So this will bring our Vutex issues to 43 open items. Step 3, set a target. Our new QCS ADR target is now focused on VTEX. What, by when, how, and by how much? Our ADR target for QCS is now at 70%. By when? October 22nd, 2021 was our target date for 70% ADR results. How? By predicting VTEX inspections through ADR activity, stop repeated defects for QCS, and controlling VTEX open items. By how much? Since our actual ADR was at 0%, our target for VTEX is now at 70 ADR. Now hand it over to Ruben.
Thank you. Step 4, analyze the root cause. What was the cause of all open issues? 55.9 ADR was not reached. Why? Defects were sent in open condition. Why? VTEX defects were not able to be tracked. Why? PI was unaware of open defects and was not able to notify VTEX of the open issues. Why? VTEX did not input defects in ICE during trial productions. Therefore, PI was unaware of open defects and not able to notify VTEX of the open issues. Therefore, VTEX defects were not able to be tracked. Therefore, defects were sent in open condition. Therefore, 55.9% ADR was not reached. Under materials, parts were not available, so we went with method which was within our scope to countermeasure. Step 5. Developing countermeasures. Using the countermeasure selection matrix, we proposed 4 countermeasures. Based on the scoring, we went with a total points, highest total points, which was number 1, create a standard for identifying multiple defects, callouts. Number 4, adjust current routes to predict defects based on PI ADR activity. Now I pass it to Rachel.
Step 5, countermeasure number 1. Develop a standard for identifying multiple defect callouts. We developed the acronym MAPS, Predicted Inspection Will. M, monitor defects. A, alert PIT members of repeat defect. P, pinpoint origin of defect. S, set up, gate check, and sustain quality install for next process. Seek further assistance to determine root cause. Seek further assistance is crucial to our success. Identify the most appropriate resource from RI for supplier issues, QAT for in-house issues, QE for part issues. PI will stop the bleeding and move on to the next defect to improve ADR. Second countermeasure, measure number 4, adjust routes to predict defects based on PI ADR activity. Who? PIT. What? Understand MPT struggle areas and adjust routes for predictive inspection. How? Utilize ADR quality sheets for inspection prediction. Create an Excel sheet for ADR open issues. Manually input all ADR issues in Excel for filtering. Why? These are true, accurate production open issues. Step 1.
Step 6, see countermeasure through. So we did a face-to-face info share with VTEX on direction and expectations to reach 70% QCS ADR. This was a direct countermeasure to VTEX not inputting the defects in. Also, with the data from the ADR activity, we created PI routes and gate checkpoints for QCS inspections. And then we trained our PIT members on new routes, gate checks, direction, and expectations in prep for QCS. So monitoring results. So the week of 10/18 through 10/22, we had a total of 9 QCS vehicles. We had 28 open items. 25 were the door line items and 3 were IP. We would like to note that 15 of these were QE open items that are under investigation. We have 10 new defects, and more importantly, we had 0 ViewTech repeats from MPT. So what does this mean? So even though as a plant, we reached 45% QCS ADR, we hit 100% QCS ADR for ViewTechs. Again, that's 0 repeat defects from MPT. So what did this prove? This proved that PI communication with ViewTechs and impacted parties on MPT defects was successful, resulting in 0 repeats. Also, the quick defect follow-up with assisting ViewTechs in problem solving by providing guidance with contacts, for example, like RI and QE. Also, with PI monitoring defects, allowed quick response on defects and help identify point of occurrence for faster countermeasure. For example, we were seeing a scratch on the lock bolts. So PI then communicated with ViewTechs about the scratches on the lock bolts. ViewTechs went to point of install, leveled up the team member, and from then we no longer saw the scratches on the lock bolts. So just to reiterate, we had 100% ADR for ViewTechs QCS, 0 repeat for defects, and PI was able to control repeat defects that negatively impacted ADR for QCS. So standardized successful process. So we want to continue to utilize the acronym MAPS. We made cards here for each team member, PI team member to carry around, has a little cheat sheet in the back of who they need to contact in case they have an issue. Also, just want to note that seeking further assistance from RI, QAT, and QE will be crucial in our success. A swift response will enable PI to address the next defect to better ADR. Also, for future builds, PI does request to have an early involvement pilot level to continue to forecast any struggle areas and help improve ADR. This is a lot of the team members' first QCC, also reporting out. Very proud of them for getting out of their comfort zone. This is very difficult to come out and to present. We had some great outstanding finds and follow through. With that, I'll let Mark explain this.
As a result of our ADR activity defects, during our downtime, we spoke with ViewTech team members and team leaders about their struggles online and in process. Santos and I were made aware of the lock cables being shorter on the new model doors in comparison to the old model doors. The old, this is the new. ViewTech's team members brought to our attention that while installing the door panel on the new model, lock cables were too short. This caused the lock cables to fall out the door panels. Santos will now explain our follow-up. Santos?
Hey guys, we lost our video feed. Can you check your video feed real quick?
Yeah, thank you for that, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Hey, Ray. Okay, we got it.
We are back on. We are back on, Jerry.
Good. You want to do it again or?
Thank you, Mark. In connection with the cables falling out, we came up with a countermeasure. We got with the Kaizen team and asked them to make us a jig to help us verify the lock assembly is functioning properly. We then added this check to one of our routes. ViewTech currently uses this jig to confirm proper door function. Lewis?
Thank you, Santos. Another bonus find during this QCC was that while gathering ideas on how we're going to track open defects on the new vehicle, we decided to run a quick test and enter the body number into the AMA. As we entered the body number into the AMA, we discovered that the defect choices were not yet available in the AMA. Had this find not occurred, we would have not had the capabilities to enter the identified defects into our AMAs during the trial run. So as a countermeasure, we reached out to the IKES team and provided them with a list of defects we would like added to the AMA in order to give us the flexibility to enter the defects in the AMA as they arise. Back to us.
This slide just shows our self-development results, where we ended up at the end of the QCC. I would like to point out that we were at an open pie at the beginning. We were aggressive, shooting for 3/4. We feel that we are at a quarter pie. we do understand and know the 8-step development, but seeing all the steps that we had to do, it just made the team more hungry to do another QCC to better hone in our skills for our 8-step problem solving. As a reflection, it was very exciting to be able to help my team members with their development in their QCC, in their development goals for this QCC. Bill?
I feel this QCC has strengthened my Excel and communication skills.
This QCC has impacted my self-development by witnessing the importance of the Toyota pillar of respect for others. Also, I have learned to use the Excel program more effectively. Rachel?
As a direct impact through this QCC, I was able to develop good communication and data gathering skills.
I was able to help my fellow team members by sharing my communication skills. I was able to improve my communication skills as well as learn how to identify struggle areas and how to develop countermeasures. Santos.
The direct impact to my self-development, I was able to expand my communication skills with not only different areas, but with team members, team leaders, group leaders, managers in finding and solving problems. Luis?
This QCC has enabled me to work closely with others and to develop and strengthen my problem-solving skills.
Thank you. So our QCC would also like to send out a special thanks to White Ship and our special projects team for direction and support. Our post-level assessment shows that we did go from a low zone Z up to a high zone C. And that concludes our QCC. Any questions?